Alright. Let's see if we can get further into the game than we did yesterday. Yesterday it was like maybe 2 paragraphs in we got. That's interesting. Banana Waffle Monkey says, while you were gone, your cat told us he was offended by Everlasting Summer's treatment of species. Did he now? I think my cat is just fine with it. I get offended by my cat's treatment of other species. Like slaughter and murder and torture just for fun. That is what cats do, so I don't think the cat has the moral high ground in this situation. Nodrunner says, no, it's sad because video game graphics haven't improved as much as I had. Oh, now I understand. You wanted the graphics to improve more. Well, they have improved quite a bit. Maybe not in the last 5 years. But I mean, graphic doesn't make the game. Yeah, there's no that kind of curve in graphics, I suppose. Banana Waffle Monkey says, and does not accept that the impulse lies on their conscience. He has seen cat run through his backyard with animals in their mouths before, yeah. If there is one thing that I learned from my philosopher professor, it's that cats are fucking murderers. Yeah, cats are psychopaths. It's not only murderers, they like to torture stuff to death. Like I've woken up many a times from screaming, screeching, fear, pain, and agony. And the cat is just torturing a mouse for the fun of it, right? Come on, run. You can run. You can make it. Try. Come on, please. Try and run away. I dare you. I triple dare you. And he just stabs the mouse over and over again. Having a good old time. Yeah, fucking cats. Yeah, tortured them to death. That is a cat's definition of a good time. Banana Waffle Monkey says, do you mean Tom and Jerry isn't an accurate portrayal of the animal kingdom? Yes. That is, I think it wasn't explicitly what I said, but I agree with the interpretation. Actually, I heard this super interesting quote that it made aesthetic sense to me, where someone said, becoming an adult is learning that Jerry is the asshole and Tom is the reasonable one. For kids, it's the other way around. It's fucked up, man. Node says species are going extinct because of our millions of cats. Yeah. That's evolution for you. If you suck and cannot adapt to the times, you go extinct. I mean, cats are one of the most adaptable creatures on the planet, right? There are cats everywhere in different forms, different races, different shapes and sizes. Everywhere. Cats. And they've adapted to us really well. Like, dogs became our pets, right? Cats just became friends. Cuddles. The cat is like not a pack animal. The cat just enjoys our company and the free food and the cuddles. The walk between pioneers' cabins The square with the statue of Genda, the forest path, all that was changing like pictures in a kid's book. The whole world looked like a picture too. That is not what I was thinking just yesterday. The reason for that was a strange girl with animal ears. A cat girl. Though she could just as likely be another animal. It was like there's a defense mechanism that activated just after I appeared here, which didn't let me look for answer or get a hold of the situation. All right. There were always more important things, such as missing the lineup, getting a comfortable seat during lunch, or sneaking away from the camp leader. I like the way what he's talking about now. We're in agreement, me and the Semyon. Anything other than thinking about why I am here and how I can get out. Anything. I sat on a stump and closed my eyes. A million images appeared in my brain at once, and among them was a road, a bus, and that girl. Yes, the girl with the animal ears. It was her who was in the bus. I quickly opened my eyes and saw her in front of me. At first it looked like a dream or a hallucination, but a sudden gust of wind brought me back to reality. She looks like she has no emotions. She looks like that at all times, like just she looks catatonic, right? Or is that just me? Kind of feels like she looks catatonic all the time. Oh wow. Pun was not intended, but now not I mean, it was even that thing when I meant another word. I didn't mean catatonic. I meant apathetic. I think. It was just because I listened to a lot of Catatonia yesterday. Great band. It's like metal lo-fi. Like metal elevator music or something like that. Perfect. But a sudden gust of wind brought me back to reality. No, she's smiling. The strange girl was sitting and sprinkling sugar on a mushroom. How do you know it was sugar? Sprinkling sugar, eh? Strange girl said, "They grow better this way," she said with a serious face. Who? I uttered with difficulty. The mushrooms. Who else? Mushrooms? Yes, mushrooms. Why do you need those mushrooms? Eat, of course. Why else would you need mushrooms? Well, let me tell you. The girl pouted. I just didn't know. Well, that's still eating, I suppose. I just didn't know how to start a conversation with her, because I was sure that the thing which looked like a strange girl with animal ears had brought me here, and making friends with a higher being wouldn't do much good. Wait, what? What is his logic here? Like, if it actually was like a higher being, a spiritual being, that's a great friend to have, wouldn't you agree? Do you have more sugar? She asked suddenly. I don't know. No? Why do you need it? What do you mean, why? I told you, for the mushrooms. Yeah, right? They grow better that way. Despite everything, the girl looked totally normal. Does she, though? Totally normal? Except for the tail and the no clothes and the cat ears. Colgate InnoTab says, if she wasn't omnipotent, how could she have cat ears? Omnipotent? Well, my cat is not omnipotent, and he has cat ears. I don't understand. Like a spiritual higher being, like he wasn't talking about omnipotent, but like having an omnipotent friend also is like, that is also a good idea, right? Of course, you don't see a human with animal ears and tail, and they actually looked real. But apart from that, I can bring some. I don't know why I said that. Maybe I wanted to earn her trust. As long as mind reading wasn't one of her abilities. That's alright, no need. There's enough. Ah, good. And? And what? Why did you come? What does she mean? Come to this glade, or come to the camp, or into this life? My head was about to explode from existential thoughts. Oh man. Not easy for Semyon. Just a little bit more and everything should become crystal clear. No, the answers and the understanding didn't appear from thin air. The safety device just cut in. Caution, doors are closing. No more people will fit in the train. The next stop is... The train was gone and I stayed on the platform without luggage, wearing a light jacket in the minus 20 degrees Celsius frost. I was just having a walk. The words echoed hollowly in my head. I felt like a Viking from the Middle Ages who stands alone against 100 enemies. I mean, I'm not, like, history isn't I'm not the most knowledgeable in the subject, but I'm pretty sure that didn't happen. I mean, yeah, they would probably, like, a lot of them probably would fight against the odds. But it was like they wanted to die in honorable combat, right? To get to Valhalla, the Vikings. They wanted to die in honorable combat, and this here is like they wanted to do good, and you can't do good against 100 enemies. They would maybe go against 1 or 2, like being outnumbered that way. Oh, Banana Waffle Monkey says, this seems very honorable to me, right? Right? Super honorable. No doubts, no regrets, only an iron will to die hard. Yeah, it's not honorable, it's dying hard. Like, I don't think the Vikings really had, I don't think honorable actually is the right word. It was like die hard, a glorious combat, right? They wanted to die a good death. They wanted to die like in a good fight, showing off their skill, right? Only the best fighters got into Valhalla, and they had to die fighting as well. That was the rules. Fight well and die fighting. Then you get into Valhalla. Don't think there was any honor in it, now that I think about it. I see, said the girl, without much interest, and went back to her work. It was you, back there in the bus, I asked her. Me? She replied lazily, without tearing herself away from the mushrooms. Why did you bring me here? I didn't bring you. Then who? I don't know. But were you in the bus? I was. And what? Yelling at her was dangerous, but I couldn't help it. What? Answer me. Did you ask something? It looks like this conversation doesn't bother her at all. Who are you? She looked at me in surprise. I am me. Okay. Where are you from? I don't know. I've always been here. What do you mean, always? You must have come from somewhere, no? I don't know. I doubted for a moment. that this omnipotent... Oh, he is using omnipotent as well as Colgate and Untap did. I doubted for a moment that this is an omnipotent... Omnipotent? Yeah, omnipotent. Omnipotent. No, omnipotent. Gotta be it, right? It's potent. Doesn't matter. But he doubted that it is such a being in front of him. I do too. Maybe not. She's utterly frustrating, though. Wait, no. Irritating. Of course, this girl is a little extraordinary, to be precise. Absolutely extraordinary. And she was with me in the bus then. But maybe she has nothing to do with my arrival here. Anything is possible. What do you know? I know how to make supplies for winter. She smiled with sweetness and ease. What supplies? Well, you know, for the winter. What was that? Why did everything become brighter when she said that? It could get cold. I've never seen the local winters, though. How come you've never seen them if you've always been here? I don't know. She looked at me intently. Anyway, you're boring as hell. Me? Yes, you. How do I bore you? Your stupid questions. Stupid? Well, I was dragged out of my usual world, brought here, and now my questions are stupid. Yes, she calmly replied. So, what questions would you consider not stupid? Where one can get sugar, for example. Nice. In the canteen, where else? Plenty for you to steal. You're well known for doing that, I've heard. I do not steal. The animal-eared girl was outraged. I am borrowing it. It comes back anyway. Ooh. Comes back or not, I don't care. I want to understand how and why I'm here. I want to go back. I'm not interested in that. The girl stood up and shook herself. But I'm interested. If you're not the one to blame for everything, then you must know the answers. Someone should know them after all. She looked at me intently and laughed. You're funny. Wasn't he boring just a second ago? I completely lost my temper. Stop mocking me. You. I'm fed up with you. Why me exactly? How am I worse than anyone else? I never asked for anything as fun as all this. Leave me alone. I didn't bother anyone. I didn't hurt anyone. What did I ever do to you? Get lost. Let me live in peace. My whole body shivered. The blood pounded in my head like a cannon. Everything went dark before my eyes. Have you blown off all your steam? I asked the girl quietly. I was about to smash her. I feel like that word means something differently nowadays. At least I'll check if she's flesh and blood. Alright, let's go. Where? You'll see. The girl gestured me to follow her and went into the depths of the forest. Those some large fucking eyes, says Banana Waffle Monkey, and I mean that non-euphemistically. Yeah, those are. That's typical anime, right? Spend it all on the eyes and make them big-ass eyes. And it works, I guess. After some time, I started to suspect that we were walking in circles. Finally, I decided to check it out and put a candy wrapper in a noticeable spot. Indeed, we soon passed it again. Wait, I didn't dare grab her hand, so I tried to stop her verbally. Yeah, huge eyes. What? Where are you taking me? I said that you'll see. But we're walking in circles. So what? What do you mean, so what? You won't get anywhere by walking in circles. But you said it yourself. that you were just having a walk. The girl seemed strange, illogical, even arrogant, as if she takes pleasure in mocking me. I'm not moving an inch until you explain what's going on. Okay. She stopped and leaned back against the large tree. Nice. No? I was just bored. It's the same old stuff. All the time. All the time. But recently, lots of new stuff happened. And now... Now what? Now I can talk to you. She smiled. And you couldn't before? Well, I certainly could. Maybe. So, what happened? I don't know. Then why do you think that something has happened in the first place? I've got a feeling. A feeling, eh? I gave a helpless sigh. Maybe she's just a lunatic that escaped a local asylum and not an omnipotent being. Come on, let's get serious. Okay, fine. The girl looked at me intently. Who are you and what's happening here? I don't know, she answered with the same expression on her face. And who knows? I don't know. All right, I'm going to sleep. I had no strength to talk about it, to listen to her nonsense, to walk in circles in the forest. Even if she knows the answers, and she can return me to the usual world and all. And she can return me to the usual world and all. Not today. Just enough for today. Alright. If I stay here one more second, there won't be anyone left to return. Good night, the girl said nicely. That's all? What else do you want? You're going to go to sleep. He's right. Okay. Do you at least have a name? Name? Yes, a name. I don't know. And who knows? I don't know. Okay, what should I call you then? I don't know. But a person, every single thing in the world, should have a name. There's no other way. That's very... Banana Waffle Monkey asked, why did her iris shrink with her pupils? It's anime, right? Why does she have cat ears? You can express more things the more you play around with the eyes. Play around with more emotions, right? Every single thing in this world should have a name, eh? Says Simeon. Well, things doesn't have names then. He's giving stuff names. Banana Waffle Monkey says, I can suspend my disbelief over the ears, but the eyes? Unforgivable. Unforgivable. It's terrible. How can they do this to the eyes, of all things? It's like, take a measuring tape and just measure, like, how big of her, how big place does her eyes take of her face, like, percentage-wise? Like a fourth? That's not how a real face looks. It's because the eyes are the most important parts when looking at people, right? Understanding. The eyes. Alright then, you will be Julia. Here we go. Julia? I don't know how I chose that name. Maybe it was just the first thing that came to my mind. Fine. She smiled merrily. And now I have to go. The girl flicked her ears and disappeared into the forest. I slowly dragged my feet back to the camp. Now it looked like I was in some sort of tragicomedy. Higher beings cannot be idiots with the development level of a kindergartner, can they? Oh. Telling fuck you to the author, eh? Though it is possible they don't perceive the world the same way we do. I was so exhausted I couldn't fully comprehend everything that had happened to me recently. The answers could be right before me. I just need to stretch out my arm. It could be that saving stool, which would help me to reach the key. Wait. I don't understand. It could be that saving stool. Isn't stool poop? Or a thing you sit on, I suppose. It's a stool as well, and you can sit on it, I think. Saving stool. I've never heard that before. Oh, right. The answers are out of reach, so it's a little stool which you can stand on to reach higher, to reach the... Ah, there we go. Now I understand. And how could I be so calm in such a situation? Maybe I'm just tired. Dead tired. Olga waited for me on the doorstep of her cabin. At last! And where were you wandering in the dead of night? I looked hard at the camp leader. Wonder, is she real? I don't have a single doubt about that girl, Julia. She may not be a human, but she does exist. And what about Olga and the other pioneers? You know, I saw that cat girl. Sure, of course. She chuckled. Well, you don't have to believe me if you don't want to. I don't want to, and I don't believe you. It's your choice, I said in a tired voice and pushed my way into the cabin. Semyon, tomorrow? I didn't hear the rest of her words. There was only one thing to understand. Whether anything is up to me or not. Should I keep desperately reaching for that key, or is the cat girl the answer that I have been looking for? Maybe the only thing left to do is to understand. No one ever said that the clue will be written straightforwardly in your own language. Though maybe I always knew those answers and I just had to comprehend their meaning. Maybe. What if everything is not real and I am just dreaming? Now he's thinking like Descartes. What if I just imagined everything about finding the answers, about understanding them? Maybe there is no cage, no jail, and the key has already been hung up from the burned out lamp in my room, which has turned into a pioneer camp inhabited by unreal but very alive people who seem to so understandable and so precious. Well, no. I am not a wizard, not an oracle, not a god. Voltaire once said, "Illusion is the first of all pleasures." Maybe my most successful skill was my illusions. Illusions is the first of all pleasures. Wonder what he's talking about. What kind of illusion? Dreams? Books? Stories? Is it just another way of saying ignorance is bliss? We've talked about that. I don't agree that ignorance is bliss. It's a very ignorant way to say. Thing to say. Lines of thoughts connected one by one. Ready to keep it going until morning. But the safety device worked again and unplugged the whole system instead of reformatting my brain like last time. I was woken up by a hellish noise in my head. It turned out to be the alarm clock. Having found its button with difficulty, I turned it off. Olga, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Why so early? I said in the direction of the other bed, opening my eyes. But there was no one there. Our camp leader must have gone somewhere already. I rose with difficulty and looked myself over in the mirror. Common pioneer, nothing more. If someone showed me photos of the local residents, with me among them, I'd never recognize myself. The sun shined brightly outside. Nature seemed to laugh at me. All right. I slowly walked to the washstands. I met only a few pioneers on my way who were obviously in a hurry. Strange, where are they going at such an early hour? The cold water refreshed me a bit, and all the memories of the last few days poured into my head. Well, I should find Julia and try to be very polite and proper this time. After all, if you can't even understand a fellow human being when judging him by your own worldview and ideas, then how can you talk to something completely alien, right? If you can't even understand a fellow human being when judging him by your own worldview and ideas. Well, that's your worldview and your ideas, right? I can reach some sort of understanding, I feel like. Yeah. Epistemologically, empirically, rationally, pragmatically. Why should aliens or catgirls follow the same moral laws and draw the same logical conclusions as I do? Good point. They may perceive the universe in a completely different way, and humans are just ants to them. Perhaps. We don't think anything of killing troublesome mosquito, so why should they pay any attention to me and my small problems? Well, obviously, she cares more about you than you care about an ant. Though it could all be totally the other way around. Julia may not be guilty in this. There was a rustle in the nearby bushes, and I saw a familiar pair of ears. I see you. Julia reluctantly left her hiding place. Come on, she snorted, pouting. Are you watching me? Yes. Is that not allowed? Well, it's probably allowed. I wanted to talk to you anyway. Really? Me too. What about? I wondered. Something strange is happening here. Strange? What? I don't know. It's just everyone is behaving differently than usual. Something has happened. First you, then all the others. What are you talking about? I don't understand. I don't know. I just feel it, and when I feel something, it always happens. Julia looked downcast and even a little afraid. At this time, she totally doesn't look like any kind of higher being. Okay, let's investigate it together, I said. No, no one should see me. Come here in an hour. Until then... The sound of heavy steps sounded from the road, someone running. I turned around and saw Slavia approaching. Julia disappeared into the forest as expected. She looks like she's seen a ghost, eh? Hi, I said. I smiled. Yeah, hi. She looked really nervous, with her cheeks blushing, eyes sparkling, and braids all messy. Timian, come with me. You'll see for yourself. What happened? Slavia's face wore such a pleading expression that I decided not to argue. She grasped my hand and dragged me to the square. The entire camp was probably there. As we turned the last corner, I looked past the crowd of pioneers who were standing in the direction of Genda, and there was a city. In a distance, where before there were fields and forests, a city slowly started to appear. Slowly started to appear? Was it moving? No. Oh, at first it was faded, like it was made out of smoke, but then it became more solid, as if emerging from a fog. Sky City, I thought at once. But strange or not, there was nothing special about it, just a normal city. Plenty of those in the territory of our vast country. You could call it too normal, almost boring. City you would never pay attention to when passing it in a car or flying over it in a plane. But to see such a thing here and now in the camp, lost in the vast fields and forests of another dimension, where the only life consists of local pioneers, squirrels, and mosquitoes. Even a cat girl is not that strange compared to this. Slavia kept squeezing my hand tightly. Pioneers whispered all around us, as if afraid to speak in a loud voice, afraid that illusion would disappear, or even the opposite, that it would become real, crushing the little Camp Sovjonok beneath it. Yeah, that's gotta be like a fucked up feeling. Like, it's easier to convince yourself that something happened to me, I'm going mad or whatever, if something weird like this happens to you. Like, and only you. But if everybody else around you claims to be seeing the same illusion, same hallucination, then it becomes much harder to ask, what is real? What is happening? Is this just me having a hallucination? Is this really happening? And if it is, what the fuck is going on? But the city stayed in its place, like a white cliff rising above the valley. There was nothing special about it. Neither gigantic skyscrapers nor significant architectural constructs, only houses of different colors and different numbers of floors, industrial buildings, and a hospital or something like it. You couldn't make out people or cars from that distance, but I was sure that the city is teeming with its own life, independent from our camp. Right. Couldn't make out people or cars. It's too far away. But I was sure that the city is teeming with its own life, yeah. Independent from our camp. I wonder if someone there got up on a roof and is looking at us through binoculars, trying to make out the pioneers crowding in the square. Indeed, it seemed like something flashed on one of the tallest buildings in the distance. But wait a minute. Binoculars. According to my estimations, there were about 2 or 3 kilometers to the city. So if I wanted to understand something right now, then I need binoculars or a spyglass. I ran to Olga. Do you see that too? Yes, of course, she replied, as if strained. I need binoculars or a spyglass. The camp leader stopped watching the faraway city for a moment and looked at me uncomprehendingly. Binoculars? Yes, go to the Cybernetics Club. There should be some. I darted off and rushed in the directions of the club's building. Electronic and Shurik were tinkering with something as usual and looked like they knew nothing about the weird stuff happening in the camp. Binoculars, quick! I shouted, trying not to lose my breath. What is it? Haven't you seen it? Ah, damn. You're sitting here with your robots like owls. Do you have binoculars or a spyglass? I pronounced each word slowly, like a caveman who had just learned how to speak. Can you calmly explain what's this all about? No time to explain. Give me the binoculars and hurry to the square. The young cyberneticists didn't keep arguing with me, and in a minute we were standing with the rest of the pioneers as I used the binoculars to carefully examine the city, which appeared from God knows where. At first glance, there was nothing special about it. It gave me an impression of being from my time, the beginning of the 21st century. Ad boards, satellite dishes, pompous shop signs, modern cars. Give those to me, said Olga. The camp leader snatched the binoculars from my hands. So, is this your world? Asked Julia. I turned round and saw Julia standing next to me. You said no one should see you. Yes, but she was lost in thought. No one sees me right now. The pioneers didn't pay any attention to the strange girl with cat ears, too occupied with watching the far-off city. Do you know what it is, and why? No, she answered after a short pause. There was nothing like this before, nothing at all. Look, now the irises are huge. And her pupils aren't round anymore, they look more like cat pupils. Not really, but a little bit more like them, eh? And what was there? Well, you came, then left, then came again. And what did you do all that time? I told you before, I was preparing supplies for the winter. I totally couldn't understand. Does Julia really not consider the situation even a little bit strange? Or is she just good at role-playing? However, who would need to put on such a show for my benefit alone? I'm nothing but a guinea pig in a cage. I don't believe you. You should know something. Semyon, said Olga, turned to the camp leader. I have no idea what this is all about, but it looks very strange. We should call the police. Olga reacted in the usual way, like a normal person would in such a situation. Calling the police, eh? That seems... good plan. I turned back to Julia to triumphantly inform her about it, but the cat girl had already disappeared. What can it be? The camp leader said quietly, not addressing anyone. I didn't know if I should tell her about myself, about the future, about traveling to the past. How do I know that the city really is from my time? Could it be just another illusion, and the behavior of pioneers is just a part of it? And what if it isn't? This I didn't manage to say anymore. Cool, cool, said Uliana, shouted Uliana, appearing from nowhere. Let's go and check it out. Oh yeah, they must be expecting us, said Alisa. Wait a moment, we should think it over first, said Slavia. Lena came up to us but didn't say anything. What do you think, Semyon? Asked Slavia, and stared at me as if expecting an immediate answer. And actually, why should what I think about it matter? What is the difference between me and them which makes me all-knowing? What does it matter that I am new to this world? The things that are happening are as obscure to me as for any other local. I have no idea. Indeed, let's go see for ourselves. It doesn't seem to be too far. But it's dangerous, said Olga. Isn't sitting here dangerous too? Asked Lena. Lena said shyly. All the pioneers and the camp leader looked at her uncomprehensingly. Well, I mean, if the city has appeared so suddenly, then something else could happen too, and we... She seemed to be getting completely confused, and so she stopped talking. Well, she's right, Alisa said in a lazy voice. I certainly don't understand what this is all about, but I'm not just going to sit and wait wait till something else happens. So if no one else is going to... And me, Uliana interrupted her. Well, what then? What if it is just an illusion? Then we don't lose anything. I was a bit surprised by the locals' urge to find out the nature of this phenomenon, because before they had avoided any conversation related to my appearance in this world. Maybe it's a riddle inside a riddle, like two enclosed spheres. We are all within the shell of the outer one, where everything is clear for them but alien to me, and that city is just the intersection of the two spheres. Spheres? There we go. However, if it is true, then I should be located on the boundary, not knowing anything about the other one. Olga was doubtful. Everyone else waited for her approval or strict prohibition. Nothing surprising about that. In the life of the camp, organized as Swiss watch, she was a tyrant and a despot. But when the boundaries of Sovionok expanded and a mysterious opponent appeared from beyond them, she couldn't keep the reins of power in her hands. Started to panic, to feel restless on the throne, which was losing its appeal. Right? Sitting on the throne when shit goes down. Oof. This may be the right time to start acting with confidence. I think we should go check it out, I said. Semyon said, I mean. How long should I sit here trying to look for some answers? Where do I find them? In the canteen? In the camp leader's cabin? Near the Genda statue? I have nothing to do here, especially when such an opportunity comes across. Yeah, let's put that as a lunchtime today. Yes. So we're like... Yeah, we're reading 2 stories now. Right? One about Semyon, and one about the not Semyon, the me character. Why is he writing it like it's unraveling? What is... Maybe it's not the me character actually writing the story. Maybe he had written the story. Maybe we're going back to the bus crash thing. That something weird is going on. That his mind has like snapped. The me character's mind has snapped, and he's like living in this dream fantasy within the world that he created for Semyon. And like, that's where the cat girl comes from, because he has an obsession. Like, obviously the author, just like Semyon, has an obsession with anime, and therefore cat girls, eh? Who doesn't like cat girls, eh? Like I was, as most people who played Final Fantasy XIV, I was this close to actually picking the cat ears character, but I didn't. I was too... Oh man, I was too hipster when Final Fantasy XIV came out. I was too hipster for taking the cat girl character. Too hipster indeed. So I took one of the other ones. Maybe that's a bit mean interpretation of what happened. I don't know. But alright. Cheers for hanging out today. And see you next time.